Okay, Don, so what we've got now is we've got our graphic panel is all folded up real nice, and that's going in there. In the case, what I've done is I've taken our two support stands. You can see the one with the bracket still on it. Those two poles, you're going to put the two of them together and fit them so that they, you know, the bases are on either end. That's just to distribute the weight better for you. And then the poles will line up in the center. Up above is our bay or our box with all of our support hardware on it. Okay, so now we're just finishing up. We're going to be putting the large header graphic. That's going to get wrapped in bubble wrap back and front. Put that part over the top of the posts. So you can see under here the bag for all of the structure is under there. Get that on there, and then back to our side graphic envelope, our light case. Box all of those up, and all of this stuff is going to fit right in here, and you'll see that, you know, the next time you open it up. Now for the rest of this, I mean, the floor is easy. It just rolls up. It rolls up like a big taco, actually. Now I had the opportunity to cut out the floor for the TV. I did it in a way that we could move it back and forth depending on how we needed to use it, but versus the corners where I had to actually notch out a piece for those structured beams in the middle, I didn't do that. This is the only piece here that is actually cut, and I did it because I know at one point you were talking about doing a 16-foot or 20-foot. This way, if you wanted to have a separate booth that didn't require the stand, we could essentially just, after you step on it a little bit, you can hardly see that a cutout is there. So now you can put another 10-foot booth, whether it's this same booth with just a different graphics package on it that doesn't have a hole for the booth, or if you want to buy a second 10-foot, which I know that was one of the options that we were looking at one point or another. You could just use the same floor still rather than purchasing another. So that's about it for the floor. I'm going to get this out of the way so we can put together or take apart this mount real quick. Who knows? Like I said, I am not a cinematographer as they are at Red House. Okay, now we've got our fun little guy here. Again, this is the heaviest part of the booth, and but when you take it all apart, it's not so bad. Got a couple of different pieces, and what I've done is I've included in your kit Allen wrench tool that's got all the different sizes on here. So if your T tool, if that one goes missing at some point or another, this is really all you need. The other one is just a little bit easier. On the back here and on the bottom, right down here, are 4 set screws, and you're going to just loosen all of these up. Now, my preference is that you keep this piece up here, this one, attached to the pole mounts, simply because they're attached by these large hex screws, and they're a lot easier to do. But we can take this whole thing, this whole piece, the top part there, minus the tubes, and you can put that in your case. So I'm going to do that this time around. If it's a little bit too much weight that you want to handle, then you can always remove it and just carry it with you in the car. But I've got a couple of different pieces. One of them is a unique box for the poles, so they're about 6 feet or 5 feet long, and then there is a main box for the base that I'm going to send with you this time. But to be honest, I wouldn't use it. This thing is heavy enough that it's going to be protected. It's going to be covered at all times, so it's not going to be something that you should be worried about as far as breakage or anything like that. But again, I had mentioned to you before about those hooks, those safety hooks, and that's what these are. And these are, it's pretty simple, but you put these, slide them behind, and then put them in. And then when we were looking at this in this direction before, if you move this forward, the threaded hole on the back of the TV is right there. You just take this screw, stick it in this hole, into the threaded hole. There's a special Allen wrench included in your kit right here that is a silver Allen wrench, and this one actually has a hole in it, so it's a locking hex wrench is really what it is. So all of that will be in a bag with all of your extra brackets that you're going to have, and essentially that is it. So the next time you see all of this stuff, it'll be in your office, hanging out, ready for you to have some fun with. I almost forgot that all the flooring, again, just rolls up like a big taco. Here's your case for it. Okay, it fits both of them. What I would do is simply just take that sheet and slide it right on top of this one. And what would be best is if you actually flip them upside down. So you roll them up with the graphic of the wood on the outside. That just makes it easier. As you can see, even here, this sheet is a lot flatter than it was when I first rolled it out. And so it flattens out as you use it and as it warms up. So it's just easier when it unravels, so you don't have anything moving up and down. So thanks again for the order of the booth, and I know that Red House has done a fantastic job. I suppose I can actually look. Red House has done a fantastic job of the creative on the project, and if you have any questions regarding the structure at all, anything that you need as far as any of those materials, let me know. Be glad to help you, especially if you're in a bind on your way to a show or anything like that. But you can always continue to go through Aaron as well, because we work very well together and we want to make sure that you're happy. So thanks again. Have a great show, and let me know if you need anything else, including that shelf or any other brackets that you think you might want. Happy to help. Thanks.